Hello, welcome to FTCE Seminar, the Florida Teacher Certification Exam podcast. For more FTCE study materials, videos, and resources, visit our website at ftceseminar.com. In today's episode, I'll be talking about test anxiety. I asked 30 teacher candidates what they thought was their biggest hurdle when taking an exam, and the majority of the candidates said test anxiety. Listen, it's normal to get a bit nervous before the big test, but let's talk about whether or not your pre-test jitters subside as you begin to take your exam, or if you're experiencing a type of anxiety that's affecting your test performance. First things first, what is test anxiety? Is it affecting my test performance? And if so, what can I do about it? The American Psychiatric Association defines anxiety as an emotional state of tension and worry that can cause physical changes like headaches, sweating, and even upset stomachs. According to the University of Colorado at Boulder, test anxiety is also known as performance anxiety and can cause a combination of physical, emotional, and cognitive ailments. If you experience self-doubt, fear, negative self-talk, you may be experiencing emotional test anxiety. You may have cognitive symptoms like difficulty concentrating, sleeplessness, and an overwhelming feeling of stress. This stress is often triggered by previous testing experiences, fear of failure, or get this one, perfectionism. This performance anxiety manifests differently from individual to individual, but overall, if you're experiencing test anxiety, it can create additional challenges for you when it comes to taking the teacher certification exam. You may be saying to yourself, Mercedes, I can relate to what you're saying. This is me. I feel this way. Now, what do I do? What tools can you teach me so I can manage my test-taking stress and anxiety? No worries, I've got 5 helpful tips from the College of Western Idaho and the University of Colorado at Boulder to help you conquer test anxiety so you can perform at your best and pass the Florida Teacher Certification Exam. Tip number 1, study. I know this sounds counterintuitive, but cramming for a test is not effective studying. Studying involves preparation. Studying is collecting the right resources, taking a self-assessment of what you know and what you need to work on, and developing a plan to improve. Check with your school for available resources or check out ftceseminar.com to get started. Tip number 2, plan. That's right. Develop a plan. What does that even look like? Take out a calendar. Plan on a testing date. Then commit to studying 3 or more times a week or whatever's right for you. It means planning to get to the testing center early. When you rush, you build anxiety. When you set realistic expectations for yourself, you're setting yourself up for success. Tip number 3, self-care. Stress is a vicious cycle. What are you doing today that's helping you? Ask yourself, how much sleep do I need to be at my best? What can I start doing to feel better? And what can I stop doing to improve my performance? Tip number 4, positive self-talk. Be kind and gentle to yourself. You're learning. You are now a teacher to yourself. What kind of student are you? Be patient. Learning is a process and requires practice, practice, practice. Tip number 5, just breathe. I use breathing techniques all the time, whether it's before an important meeting, before I give a presentation, or even just now before I sat down to record this podcast. Taking a few slow and deep intentional breaths is a quick way to reset yourself, reduce anxiety, and slow your heart rate. Let's review. When you experience test anxiety or even a little bit of pre-test jitters, remember that you have tools. You can practice these 5 tips to help you move through the anxiety. Remember, tip number 1, study. Be prepared, because this is important, and when something's important, it becomes a priority. Make studying a priority so you can pass the test. Tip number 2, have that plan. Commit to a testing date and develop a study plan. You're going to be a teacher, and right now you are your own student. Develop a plan and stick to it. Tip number 3, take care of yourself. This is always good advice, but in this case, preparing for and taking a high-stakes exam can be exhausting. Eat well, sleep well, and surround yourself with supporting friends or family. Tip number 4, we've all been hard on ourselves, but have we ever practiced positive self-talk? It may sound silly, but visualize yourself passing. See yourself earning your teacher certification. See yourself walking into your first classroom. When your brain says, "This is hard," let yourself say, "That's right, this is hard, and I can do hard things. I can, and I will pass this test." Tip number 5, just breathe. Take some deep breaths and be where your feet are. Anxiety is a fear of the future. Just breathe. Today, you have the tools so you can pass the test. Join me again for another test-taking tip or study strategy on FTCE Seminar, a Florida Teacher Certification Exam podcast. For more information or study resources, visit our website at ftceseminar.com so you can prep to pass the FTCE.